I'm Mike Picotte with Sweetwater Sound, here with Travon Marquell, monitor engineer for Post Malone, talking about the tour and what he's got going on Post vocals.
So we started out with Burl Pre hitting his mic off of the Sennheiser, and then we have an insert for his whole vocal chain, which is consisting of a de-esser, EQ, 1176 style, and then we're going to opto compressor, and then it's going into a 542, which is kind of like a tape emulator, and then we're doing some parallel compression here. Shout out to Hazel Rig Industries. We're also using their channel strip in as our parallel for his vocal
that's
mic.
The VLC and the VNE.
Yeah, so we're using the VLC, VNE, and then they're both going into a send and blend, which is allowing me to do parallel compression for his vocal chain.
So one of the things new on this tour, obviously Post is playing a lot of acoustic guitar songs.
Yep.
And Hazel Rig, the VNE and the VLC is a parallel for outboard, but also the DI, the VDI direct box.
Yes, so the VDI is on his acoustic guitar. It sounds incredible. It's a vacuum tube DI, incredible product by Hazel Rig, and all of their stuff has been a great addition to our sound and just created a whole nother sonic signature for us.
With Hazel Rig, when you guys were at Rock Lilith's and stuff, Jeff and them flew this gear out, right?
They
We
did.
needed it right away because we were trying to overnight it. And they're like, how fast can we get it?
Yeah, no, they called me up. It's like, yeah, first they were going to just come in and just kind of take a look at how my setup was, and Eric, shout out to Eric with Hazel Rig, he let me use one of his demos and until I can get the actual one sent in, and Jeff and his brother, they came out and flew it literally into Lidditz on their private plane, and I mean that's like customer service to the infinity, and beyond. So
they called when I was talking to Eric on the phone, he actually said, he goes, the weather looks really clear in Pennsylvania, so we're gonna fly it. Jeff says he's gonna fly it in.
Right,
right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get more customer service than that. For them to be able to just literally fly in the product, hand it to me. They actually signed it. They just went over and beyond. So I'm very happy and pleased with them, just thankful actually for them to be able to bring that out to me and fly it out. That added like another personal touch. And it's a story for centuries to come about them bringing the gear right to me. So,
man, that's great.
Yeah.
So other than like the new Mew on the bus and everything, how are you processing the guitars, the acoustic too?
So we have the VDI on the actual guitars getting plugged right into it, but then after that I'm using the Moog EQ4M, the mastering version on the stereo of the guitar, and the thing is like a coloring box, man. You can add it in and you can just start coloring things the way that you want it. So that also amps up the sound of the acoustic guitar. Having that with the VDI is like a match made in heaven. So that's my guitar chain, if you will, for its
beautiful
acoustic.
Yeah, I love what those guys do. I still use one in the studio all the time. So on the mix bus. So.
Yeah.
And then obviously the outboard here. Another outboard, probably not in the shot right now, but we have like Moog EQs, Manly new Mews, and Burl even A to D and D to A converters. So I guess one of the questions a lot of people would ask in a monitor engineer is why so much outboard gear in a live environment?
Well, definitely because of the aspect of, I like to explain to people as a monitor engineer, and at least my philosophy on it is kind of creating a sound like he would be in a recording booth, essentially. So we're doing a lot of analog products to essentially create this sound that would kind of replicate him being in the studio, but live, And so we have a lot of stuff that's adding different saturation, sonic, just creaminess, pretty much to kind of replicate what he would be doing when he's recording all of these songs. So the Burl mothership is allowing me to essentially insert all of this stuff into the console. We're using AES on the B16, and everything is running into that, which is also giving us more saturation, more sonic signature that just amplifies the whole sound. So the B16 is the mothership. Everything is going into there, and then from there into the desk.
And then another new product that me and you were speaking about a lot, and we did a lot of demos on, was the clocking of the system.
Yes.
And we did the Mutech Reference 10 clock for the atomic clock.
Yeah, that thing is incredible. I mean, the Mutech it just I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it, but it just makes everything sound so much better. You get more lows, you get more depth and more width. Everything just seems more real to me running it through the Mutech, and that was a huge addition to the sound overall. It made us go up another maybe 10-15% overall in our whole sound.
Wow, they noticed it out in front of everything, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, in playback and monitors, we instantly heard a different sound when we inserted that into our clocking system. So that right there is just an incredible piece to have.
So we talked about the vocal chain, Burl using empirical lab distressors and kind of going through the chain with the Hazel rig.
Yeah.
And use a lot of outboard gear on the music and all the different stuff as well, like for bus processing. So for your workflow, like how do you actually treat some of the music as well, other than just the voice?
So on the music side, everything is kind of going through the master chain, so to speak, which is his ears. So everything is going through a cream liner, which is essentially allowing me to get just this gluing effect because it's all running through there as some tubes. It's a kind of like a line amplifier. So it's just, I don't know what the electronics they're doing in there, but it's adding some saturation, it's adding some warmth, some width as well. And so it goes through there, and then me and you talked about essentially, he was using a Verimue before and recently swapped over to the Numu, and that Numu is just incredible. It has a parallel compressor on there, but it's the Verimue, but on steroids, in my opinion. You get more attack, you get that fast, fat kind of sound out of the compressor. So it goes out of the cream liner, and then it hits the Numu, and then out of there, it goes into his in-ear wireless pack. And so that is allowing us to just get this big, fat, warming sound that he's hearing, and all the music and everything is processed together and summing together, so to speak, through that chain.
That was one of the things we spoke about back when you had the Verimue. I was talking about, have you ever tried one? And
right.
And you were like, first time you guys put it up, you said it was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, just inserting it on, you instantly heard a new, like a whole different sound, and not even really getting into the parameters. It just inserting it on, it just lifted everything up, and it just felt like, wow, this is in my face. Everything just felt really tight. So a lot of the sounds of the Verimue, but it just kind of amped it up a little bit more.
And in the live sound market, travels really nicely if you
Very
have to fly.
well, very well. We do a lot of fly dates, so that's one of the other aspects of it, is being able to throw that into a Peli or put that in my backpack even, and then get there and make sure it gets there safely.
So another on the tour. So this is obviously different from the last one. What we're doing with the vocals and the in-ear mix and stuff from the last time. So how was Post actually? How has he responded to the new changes?
He's loving it. I mean, he's been complimenting pretty much every night of how great it sounds, and he said it reminds him of being in the studio. That's one thing that he said last night or a couple shows ago, was just like, man, I feel like I'm in a vocal booth right now, which is kind of what I want. That makes me feel like I'm accomplishing my job.
From being at Sweetwater, I gotta throw it in. So we talk often.
Yeah.
I
a lot of phone calls.
Multiple times a week usually.
Yep.
And what's the experience for you for working with us as a company, and how do what has been your feedback on us for working with you?
Man, you guys have, especially you, I mean, you've been incredible. I love Sweetwater. Shout out to Sweetwater. Everything that I need, you guys get it to me very quickly. The speed is just incredible. Overnight, sometimes when I need something the next day, it's just to be able to call and have that type of customer service is incredible. It's necessary in order to be in this game, in this industry, to have a contact and have a company that will back you and be able to get something to you in a very speedy manner. And the customer service is incredible.
Yeah, well, we definitely appreciate it, and like a lot of the changes, because we're talking technical a lot.
Yes.
And like even making changes today.
Yeah.
So we'll see how those turn out tonight.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Trying something new today.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the time today.
Absolutely.
Coming to the tour. Hope it's going to be a great show tonight, which I'm sure it's going to be, and sound amazing. If you have any questions on mixing monitors, adding any of this kind of stuff to your live setup, make sure you give your Sweetwater sales engineer a call, and give us a call anytime.